Hey everybody, this is Nick, and this is Spiritual Meat, and this is the second part of a video I did earlier, and this is not normal Spiritual Meat, like the Bible study and everything, but this is a topic that I probably will do a Bible study on, and sit down and open the scriptures and stuff like that, because there's plenty to look at in Revelation and Matthew and Daniel, and as far as I know, Jeremiah, as far as the time of Jacob's trouble, and plenty of prophecies in the Bible to tell of this time that we're coming into, as it seems, that basically we have people in the world that are influenced by Satan, and they're grabbing for power, and they're trying to change everything to oppress people and take away their freedoms and take away their and to prohibit Christianity. So there's a big power play against Christians themselves, against Christ himself, and one of those things in our current world, and in America especially, I should say, right now, with our current administration, which is the Biden administration, is a push for the LGBTQ plus, and all that stuff, agenda, and policies and stuff like that, and it's highly dangerous, and it directly opposes God, and it confuses not only kids but adults too, but it's especially confusing to kids, and I've heard some things in the school systems, like they're asking them at especially young ages, say 5, 6, maybe 7, something like that, about their sexual preference and their gender and stuff, and they're taking away the knowledge of biology, the way that we are created as either a boy or a girl. Okay, now there are the very, very, very rare, it's like 0.008 or whatever, abnormalities of gender, where you might get someone with hermaphroditic, they might have some of both genders or something like that, but at birth that's able to be corrected toward the gender that they are dominant, but it's a very rare occurrence. It is not the norm, and they're trying to change biology into psychology, I guess. That basically what you think is what you are, instead of what you are is what you are. I'm a man, I have male parts, and God gave me those male parts. I didn't, one day go into the tool shed, and start mutilating myself, and and tape a hose to me or something like that, and I'm obviously saying that in just a kind of a weird way, but anyway, you get the point, that we are made as either man or woman. That is what we are. We're either a man or we're either a woman. If you're an adult, if you're younger and you're a kid, then you're either a boy or you're a girl. Now, what they're teaching and what they're allowing to be taught is that people can be any number of things, on the gender spectrum, and because I've heard of, like pansexual, sapiosexual. I've heard of, that people can be like I don't know, like, not a boy, not a girl, but, some type of, like, the pronouns, that's another thing I should get into, is that basically they're pushing pronouns, like, don't call me a him, call me a they, or call me, I don't know, possibly an it. I don't know if that's a thing, or don't use any gender specific identifiers, that basically, if you're a woman, they're pushing that, okay, no, don't. We can't say she. We can't say he. You know, you have to say they or it, or you know, something non-descriptive. And it's confusing, and it's not real. You know, it's not based on biology. It's not based on science. That we know that, you know, we are what we are. You know, I mean, the anatomy of a man, you know, and more than just, you know, his male genitalia, is very specific. You know, versus the anatomy of a woman. Like men are usually genetically predisposed to be heavier and stronger and have more muscle, have more bone density, you know, things like that. And just look these things up for yourself as far as the biology between a man versus a woman. And this is the real issue, is that basically if I decided I was a well, let's say a walrus, because there is actually, I think, a Christian children's book that says something like, that has that theme. I think they use the walrus, that basically if I were to decide I'm a walrus and start doing the things that a walrus would do, it would be highly unhealthy for me. And this is what that, you know, book goes over, is that basically if we think that we're something, you know, and we start behaving that way, it goes against our natural design, and it's highly unhealthy, and it's confusing. And so that book, and I agree with it, that basically it teaches children that basically we are what we are. We are what God made us. And and I feel like it's something that needs to be out there, you know, to tell the truth, to tell the facts, to tell, you know, what can be proven, you know. But anyway, that I don't want to get too much on that. The other things that we have to look at is the World Economic Forum, which is apparently the global elites from around the world and stuff like that. I need to do more study, but you know, I've heard some bad things, you know, so obviously do more of your own study, but you can look at the agenda. That basically, it seems like they're making this huge power grab, and they have a couple of slogans. One is Build Back Better, and another is like, you'll own nothing, and you'll like love it, or you'll like it, or you'll enjoy it, or whatever. And the problem with that is basically people have fought and died for the freedoms that we now, you know, have, like especially in America, for them to be just trying to be dictators and rule everybody with an iron hand, you know, telling them, oh, we're going to make you safe and secure, and you're going to love it, you know, type thing. And the Biden administration has the same slogan, Build Back Better. Now, I've said this for quite some time, and now people are coming out with books on it and stuff like this, you know, and I just wish people would just listen to me for a change. And some people do, and you know, it's just me. I'm able to put together the you know, connect the dots often, you know, a lot more quickly, or you know, where I do my research and things like that, so I'm able to know about these things. But and I'm sure a lot of people do, so I'm not saying that I'm the only one. But I will say that I saw a lot of this coming. I saw this stuff coming, you know, when Biden first got in office. I mean, he started, you know, signing all these executive orders and stuff like that, and basically then I started seeing all these different fires pop up, you know, and they basically, you know, the border problem, you know, he's not securing the border, and his administration is not securing the border, and then the coronavirus thing, you know, that basically there's been a lot of false reporting, and there's, you know, it changed all kinds of ways that we operate within society, and that allowed for the vaccinations and the mask mandates, and just a different atmosphere. You know, ultimately they want to have, you know, separation of people. if they can divide us and pit us against each other, then they have more control than ever. And that's exactly what they want. And I'm not talking about our American government the way that it should be. I'm talking about this current administration that, as American citizens, we have a responsibility to try to get out of office because they're destroying America, and they're directly opposing Americans. You know, by doing so many things that are harmful to us and our children, and what is constitutional, by directly opposing the Constitution. And I've heard things also like, you know, some people saying that, you know, basically the right to bear arms is somehow, you know, like a white privilege thing, you know, and that's another way that they're trying to divide us, you know, trying to divide white people against black people. And the fact is and I had looked into this before, and I got to look into it again. A lot of the policies, say like in the Black Lives Matter movement, go back to like Marxism or communism, and are not good for black people, are not good for white people, are not good for any people. Now I support, you know, equal rights, you know, of black people, white people, Chinese people, you know, Pacific Islanders, of all people, you know, and we need to be one nation under God that, you know, treats each other with love and decency and a type of, you know, appropriate equality. I'm not talking about taking it out of context like it seems the Biden administration and other people that fall into that line of thought do. We need to be loving and, you know, love thy neighbor as thyself. And but the thing is you need to be aware of what's going on out there and be prepared and vote, and because there's a lot of bad stuff and you need to be aware and prepared. So this is Nick, and this is Spiritual Meat, and I'm going to talk about this more later, go into more detail. Okay, I'll see you next time, and remember, Jesus Christ saves.